Hey there, Bridget Beckwith here. I have been reading and learning about citizenship and the government, and what it is to be an active citizen and how important it is to know and understand how the United States government works. So, it got me to thinking, how much does the average American know about how the US government works? So I decided I'd do some interviews, kind of hit the streets and see what they know. This should be fun. This is some difficult stuff, some of this, and hard to remember. Some people might not have learned this since school, so let's take a look. All right, so today my goal is to see how much the average American knows about the government.
Okay.
All right, so you're in college, right?
Yep.
Yeah, are you smart?
I hope so.
All right, what are the three branches of government?
Executive, legislative, judicial.
Whoa, good job.
Yeah.
So you think you're pretty smart?
I think so.
Do you think you know a lot about government?
Not too much, no.
Okay, well, let's see. So, what are the three branches of government?
The judicial branch, the executive branch, and I don't know the third one.
You
I don't
don't?
think I do. Wait, judicial, executive. I don't know the third one.
So now we know the three branches of government: executive, legislative, and judicial. But each branch has a distinct role. The executive branch is held by the president and is responsible for enforcing and implementing laws. They are responsible for making sure all three branches keep to the responsibilities they are assigned. Roles include directing government and commanding armed forces dealing with international powers. The legislature, headed by the Congress, is divided into two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, that are elected members. The Senate has 100 members, with each state electing two. The House has 435 members, divided by states in proportion to their total population. The main role is to make laws. The judicial branch, headed by Supreme Court. This is the highest court. 9 members, 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. The odd number is to reduce ties during cases because majority rules. So they play referee and decide who is correct. They provide a mechanism for the resolution of disputes. They ensure equal justice under law. All right, next question. What does each branch do?
I know the executive branch enforces laws. The judicial branch, that's like the Supreme Court, so
Wow.
they make, I don't know if they make, I know one makes, one enforces, and then the legislative, that's like the House and the Senate, and they can approve laws, or I don't know.
You're close. Question 2. What does each branch do?
The one with Congress in it, they come up with Supreme Court comes up with the laws and stuff, which gets sent up to Congress, I believe. And then after Congress, it goes to the president, and then the president gets the final word on that, I believe.
Okay, that's how, actually you're describing how things work, but do you know what the executive branch does?
Oh, I don't know.
What the president does? His job? What about Congress, what they do?
I'm pretty sure the president just comes up with the laws, and then Congress and the Supreme Court go over it, and then...
So question 2 got a little bit tougher. What does each branch do? Well, the executive branch carries out federal laws and recommends new ones. They veto laws, they enforce laws, can pardon people, and the president is elected every 4 years. Legislative branch enacts legislation, declares war, confirms or rejects many presidential appointments, initiates revenue bills, can impeach federal officials, can elect the president in the case of an electoral tie.
They pass laws and approve treaties. The judicial branch interprets the Constitution to decide if laws are constitutional. They can overturn rulings, are appointed by the president for life unless they retire, resign, are impeached, or die, and they decide cases involving state rights. So how are these three branches connected? Well, a good example is by creating laws. Congress is responsible for making laws. If Congress passes a bill, it ends up with the president. If he likes it, he signs it into law. If not, he can veto it. Congress can vote again with a 2/3 vote to override the president. The judicial branch can review laws made by Congress and approved by the president. They decide if laws agree with our Constitution. If they are unconstitutional, Congress must make an amendment to the Constitution. Everyone has a job that depends on other branches doing their jobs. This is also how each branch regulates each other. Power is divided amongst the branches in order to limit the powers of the president. Congress must approve the people chosen to fill jobs that the president appoints to lead departments and agencies. This concept is called checks and balances, and it was designed so no one branch would hold too much power or too much authority over another. Each branch has the governmental authority to review and restrain the operations of the other two. Question 3. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties, right?
Mhm.
Can you name a third party?
A third party. What? Isn't there like you can like go neutral or something as a president, like or as a
You mean like
candidate?
independent?
Yeah.
Well, that's not an actual party, though.
Um.
So you're actually when you hear that a lot, but you're not in a party if you're an independent. So you haven't heard of any other parties?
Mm-mm.
No.
No.
Yeah. Well, some of them are Green Party, Reform Party, Libertarians. Have you heard of that
Yeah.
term?
I just
Constitution Party. Yeah. So there are some others. Question 3. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third?
No.
No?
I don't know that.
No, never heard of anything?
No.
No. So question 3, getting a little bit tougher. Democrats and Republicans are the major parties. Can you name a third party? Well, some popular third party examples are Green Party, Reform Party, Libertarians, Constitution Party, and Natural Law Party. So how did the two-party system? Well, the original two-party system was made up of Federalists and Anti-Federalists, better known as Democrat-Republicans. The Federalists were supporters of the Constitution who were energetic and dedicated, while the Democrat-Republicans objected to the new powerful government. Reaching its peak with President Adams, the Federalist Party declined, leaving the Republican-Democrat Party to split. We now had a Republican Party and a Democrat Party that were separate. So what do these third parties have? Well, third parties introduce new ideas like the Populist Party, who introduced ideas that influenced some economic policies of the New Deal. Third parties can enforce major parties to address potentially divisive problems. Ross Perot talked about the budget deficit in 1992 when Clinton and Bush were avoiding the issue. These third parties can draw enough attention away from a major party to prevent that party from winning. They can challenge and pose problems for other parties by being bold. With little chance of winning, they have nothing to lose. Okay, the last question. So you're pretty smart, so you're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know. I think I want to say it's the House or the Senate starts with the law, and then it either goes to the other one. So whichever one like starts it, and then once that's passed, it goes to the other, and then once that's passed, basically it goes to the president, who then can decide if he wants to veto or pass the law.
Wow, that's really good. What happens if he vetoes it?
Then there's
there's a revote, and I guess if it's 2/3 majority.
Oh my goodness, you're crazy. You're so smart. I didn't know you knew all this. That's good.
Yeah.
Good
And
job.
then if it's 2/3 majority, then it gets passed. And then if it isn't, I think it happens like one more time, and then it has to be almost everybody. And then I don't know.
Nice job. Wow. So you officially are one of the smarter people because not everybody knows this stuff. Good job.
What is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
The president, I believe, is the one that comes up with it. It gets sent down to Supreme Court, I believe, and they go over it. And then once it goes there, Congress makes a final decision whether it goes through or not.
So for our final question, we asked, what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law? Well, it's actually pretty complicated, and this picture shows just how bad it can be. It's not easy. So let me try to simplify it a little bit. There, that's better. Now, a bill can be drafted by anyone, but can only be introduced by a member of Congress. This makes them a sponsor. Once introduced, the bill is referred to a committee where it is examined carefully to determine if it will move on to the next process or die. Bills often need to go to subcommittees for hearings to obtain others' opinions, such as interest groups or agency bureaucrats, for their support or to hear from those opposed to the bill. Fewer than 10% of bills move on to the next phase of the process. After the questions and research, debates, and amendments, committee members make revisions and/or additions to the bill. Once the bill makes it through either House or Senate, it must go to the other house. The process begins again. If the bill is lucky, it makes it out of committee from the House and Senate floor. The bill now needs a conference committee to iron out the inevitable differences from the alterations and versions of the bill. The bill must be approved in its final form by House and Senate. If this happens, the bill finally goes to the president. He can veto the bill or approve it. 2% of bills became law that were introduced by previous Congress. That's not a lot. Congress may attempt to override the veto, but they need a 2/3 majority.
So I hope you liked the video, seeing how much people know or how much they don't know. So thanks for watching.